Three, two, one, live.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining this webinar on study in Ireland. We are joined by some excellent panelists who would bring deep understanding on the Ireland as a study destination. Ireland is steadily growing in interest amongst Indian students, and in 2023-24, India almost took over USA with highest number of international students studying in Ireland. And with this context, let me quickly introduce you to the panelists. We have Mr. Sachin Jain, who's the country manager for India and South Asia at ETS. ETS is world's largest assessment company and conducts more than 50 million tests annually across 200 countries. In India, ETS is known for its flagship products, which is the test of TOEFL and GRE. Welcome, Sachin, sir. Then we have next to Sachin is Ms. Wendy D'Souza. She is the Senior Vice President, India and South Asia for Enterprise Ireland. Her key responsibilities to build awareness of Irish higher education and support to Irish companies in India. Uh, she leverages her 25 plus years of experience in international education and business development. Welcome, Wendy, on board. Um, Hi, Anju.
Thanks.
We have Anju next from University of Galway, with as a as a senior regional manager South Asia. She leverages over 25 years of experience to build strategic partnership and lead impactful recruitment and marketing initiatives for global universities in South Asia. Welcome, Anju. We have Ishita next, with a background spanning Yahoo and higher education. Ishita Singh now serves as a senior regional advisor at One Step Global, developing the Technological University of Shannon's footprints in South Asia and MENA region through targeted strategies and partnerships. Welcome, Ishita. And last but
So
not
much,
least,
Sarika.
we have Bhavna Purohit, who's an international educational professional and currently works as a recruitment advisor for South Asia, supporting the National College of Ireland. Bhavna brings in-depth knowledge of the Irish higher education system and strong understanding of what Indian students look for when planning their academic and professional journeys abroad. So we welcome you all, and it really thanks for being at the panel at such a short notice. So to start with my first question for Wendy, as you represent Education Ireland and witness all action around the international student mobility into Ireland, Ireland students have traditionally been very strong constituent of higher education in Ireland. So, like for example, Indian students studying in Ireland have grown by approximately 50% in 2023-24, which is close to 7,000 Indian students studying now in Ireland, representing the largest nationality of international students last year. Looking at this, we would like to ask you a question that what, as per you, are the key reasons driving this phenomenal growth of Indian students choosing to study in Ireland over the traditional destinations?
Okay, so thanks actually for having me here. It's really great to be part of this panel, and I've got really good co-panelists also here. Excited to, have them as part of this conversation. Uh, I think you said rightly, yes, Indians are the biggest cohort of international students in Ireland. But I should mention that they're not the only international students. So students looking at studying there would have people from 160 countries. Okay, I'm putting this in context because it is a small population in Ireland. It's about 5.5 million. And when you have people from such diverse background, that's what you're going to get, in Ireland studying with other nationalities also. So it's a global cultural mix. The quality of education is top class. Okay, so if you study in Ireland, you can go and work, yes, obviously in Ireland itself or anywhere in the world. So it's like a stepping stone to the rest of the world. I would say it's also very cost effective, very affordable. So, you have the right cost and right fit for all students from India or, South Asia, whatever it is. And yes, let's not forget its strategic location. For me, it's in the center of the world. Okay. So I keep saying this. It is basically very near to Europe and to UK, just 7 hours from the US and not very far from India. So why not, come to Ireland? Yeah.
Thanks, Wendy. Just to add to whatever you said, I wanted to ask you a little bit more on how have you seen any shift or any significant shift, I can say, in students who are choosing UG versus the postgraduate programs in Ireland from India?
So I would say traditionally it has been a postgraduate market. Okay, so everybody now Ireland is known as a post. It always has been known as a postgraduate market. Okay, so students know us for all the various courses that we have, but it has picked up as an undergraduate market. Okay, where we see a lot more students, maybe just about 10% of the students, from the cohort that is undergraduate, but they are going there because, again, like I said, it is more affordable than some of the traditional countries. Okay. It does have a stay back option also. Plus, I think what is most important is, and all my counterparts here will tell you all the same thing is, they do have 1 year, okay, which is an internship or a placement, which gets them really job ready, which you're not going to get in India. Okay, so you don't normally have the on-job placement or the project or anything that you're doing. So that really makes them job ready, and their employability becomes really high. So that's why we're seeing a lot of people now shifting from, the undergraduate market, also looking at Ireland.
Thank you. That was great insights, Wendy. My next question is for Sachin. TOEFL has been at the center of international student mobility for last 60 years. Looking at the student mobility trends globally, why do you see the interest for Irish higher education growing amongst Indian students? And how is TOEFL helping realize the study programs, the study abroad dreams of Indian students?
Thanks, Harika, for having me. Great question. I think some of it has already been touched upon by Wendy, but let me let me let me answer this in two or three different parts. First and foremost, and slightly digressing from the academic and those discussions, if you have noticed the tricolor, or the colors of Ireland's flag and the Indian flag, they are the same. Both these countries share the same tricolors, orange, white, and green. Obviously, the placements are different, but that's how symbiotic I can say the relationship starts between these two countries, wherein they both share the same tricolors. Now, coming to something serious, Wendy touched upon the top quality higher education, cost effective. I think it's also important. It's a small population of just 5.5 million, but lot of us do not know that Ireland is the third highest GDP per capita. What that really translates into is that the opportunities for job and the kind of wages that you earn in Ireland are comparable or much higher than some of the other markets. So I think a small country generating per capita GDP of 130, 140,000 US dollars in itself talks a lot about the strength of the economy that Ireland has. So I think that's an important element to note. Uh, in the last, I would say 2 to 3 decades, um, Ireland has transformed into a financial and a technology powerhouse, which is driving this growth in Ireland. And why I'm sharing all this is because ultimately students from India are not just going to a destination for studies. They're also looking for opportunities to work in that market, to be really immersed in a global workforce and have that global exposure. And because of the resilient and the growing economy that Ireland has, that provides a lot of opportunities to work uh, and kind of have that experience post completion of your studies. So I think that's an important element that I see why growth of interest from Indian students towards Ireland. And needless to say, the higher ed uh, uh, institutions and the quality of higher education in Ireland is comparable to the best in the world, right? But at the same time, what Wendy touched upon is the affordability, which is equally important for students from India. At, I would say, uh, uh, 30 to $40,000 all inclusive, including cost of living, it is probably 50% lower than some of the other markets. And that's a huge difference, assuming, considering the overall quality of education and the quality of outcomes remaining the same as you would find in other destination markets. So that's a big advantage that Ireland has in terms of students who are looking to go for their graduate or undergraduate studies from India. Um, uh, Last thing that I would say is that if you look at the kind of companies that are operating, so you have all the five big tech giants, all of them have offices in India. MedTech, again, is something that has come up as a very dominant sector within Ireland. And, and last but not the least is the consulting as a sector. So every big consulting firm has a huge base in Ireland. And all these things put together provides a lot of opportunities to study and then also to work in Ireland on post completion of the studies. So that's how I see Ireland shaping up as an attractive destination for Indian students. Coming to TOEFL per se, TOEFL has been the oldest and the most widely accepted test globally. 13,000 plus universities, 160 plus countries. That's that's the we can say that TOEFL is the gold standard when it comes to English language testing globally. Uh, uh, what I must highlight is that very few countries have actually enshrined an English language test in their student visa process, and Ireland is one of them. And again, this also goes in a long way in terms of uh, how Ireland is looking at selecting students and kind of identifying serious students who want to kind of study in Ireland. So I think that is another element that I must share. And then on TOEFL as a test in 60 years and 6 decades of our history, we have transformed. And in the last 2 years, especially, we are now the shortest test available in among the more kind of uh, popular tests globally in one setting. And there are a lot more innovation that are happening, including home edition. Ireland also accepts home edition, and TOEFL also comes with that flexibility and convenience of you can take that from your home. So I think that's how TOEFL enables. We did a survey, and it is interesting. I must share this with the panelists and with the audience as well. We did a survey of TOEFL test takers who took TOEFL in 2023, and what the data told us was that 85% of students who took TOEFL and submitted their scores for the purpose of visa actually got the visa, which again is goes a long way in actually ensuring that TOEFL is one of the commas, as we say, is one of the enablers. It is not the destination. TOEFL is not the destination, but through TOEFL, uh, students can really kind of move ahead and aspire for the study abroad dream. So that's how we look at TOEFL and how we can kind of add value and be an enabler in the study abroad aspirations for students globally and from India as well.
Thank you, Sachin sir. That was great information. Moving to my next question is for Anju, who represents the prestigious University of Galway. As an introduction, UOG is amongst the top 250 ranked institutions globally by QS and was established in 1845 and currently has 19,000 students at its 100 acres huge campus in Galway alongside the River Corrib. So, my question to you is, what are some of the key programs and newly introduced courses at the University of Galway, which is popular among Indian students and also have been developed in response to emerging global trends and industry demands?
Thank you, Sarika. First of all, a big, huge thanks to ETS for having me today in this panel. It seems to be a very interesting panel. I feel really proud to be a part of this. And again, a huge thanks to Sachin and Wendy for putting things into context and setting up the stage for all the upcoming questions. Now, coming to the question that you asked, see, let me just give you a little background about what Ireland has been known for. Of course, Wendy has talked about it, but just to reiterate, Ireland has been known as the Silicon Valley of Europe. Okay, we have students coming to Ireland for studying IT, AI, data, fintech, cybersecurity, these kind of programs for years, and it's become definitely even more popular in last couple of years with all the effort that we've been putting to ensure that students feel guided and assisted at all the stages. But besides that, of course, it's a huge biopharma hub as well, and a medtech hub as well, with a lot of opportunities in the field of finance, economics, innovation, and whatnot. Most of the universities which are there in Ireland are research-led universities, so we are definitely a part of that. And as University of Galway, as you introduced, we are 180 years old institution. And currently we have about 4 colleges offering more than 200 postgrad and research degrees and about 100 plus undergrad degrees as well. Now, the question is, what are we doing new to ensure? Because for years, the same students have been going for the same courses. What university is planning to do or planning to launch or have already launched the programs to ensure or to that the students are up to date and they are joining the courses which belongs to the near future as well. So keeping that in mind, we have this year apparently launched about 6 new courses, I would say. And to start off, College of Science and Engineering have introduced 4 new courses, very interesting courses, because as I said, the focus has been on computer sciences, business analytics, and things like that. So in past years, we have launched an MSc FinTech, which apparently is the only course offered by a university level. So we were the first university to do that. But when we talk about this year, we have 4 courses. The first one being MSc Intelligent Robotics, which is focusing towards the use of AI and robotics in the industry. No matter which field you choose these days, these things are going to be incorporated and would be in demand in coming many years, I would say. So we are definitely prepared, and we have pulled up our sources to guide and sort of train students for the upcoming future, I would say. Followed by MSc Construction Innovation. Again, a huge demand for people who are the civil engineering students are definitely in demand, and those who are planning, they can come for MSc Construction Innovation program. Followed by MSc Medical Electronics and Digital Health. Again, I don't have to talk much about because MedTech is in demand, and Galway apparently is a global MedTech hub as well. So there are huge opportunities available for these students in the city and the university itself. And last but not the least, in College of Science and Engineering, we do have an MSc Wind Energy Engineering, which apparently is the only unique degree in the entire Europe, I believe. And students who are coming from mechanical or aeronautical or aerospace engineering background are most welcome to, be a part of this particular program. I will come to the entry requirements and everything a bit later, but if we talk about the business school, 2 newly launched courses keeping the future trends and demands are LLM with digital innovation. It is basically using AI in law sector, which is very unique in its own sense as well. And we have got tremendous response from the students who have done LLB from India, and they are wanting to know more about the future opportunities which lies in the area of law with AI. And the other very popular course that we have launched this year is called Entrepreneurship and Venture Management. Again, the USP of this program is that most of the degrees in startups would tell you how to actually start a startup, but very few, I think, would tell you more or beyond that. And this degree of ours focuses more on scaling up your startups once you have initiated that project, which I think is a very unique concept and very, very unique with Universities of Galway course as well. And of course, the list is long, but I'll just add one more course to it, which is MA Planning and Development. This is another course which may lead to getting a job, which are listed in the critical shortage. So any student from any background, be it business, be it architecture, be it civil, can come for this particular program, the duration of which is 1 year, and they can definitely be a part of this and get hopefully selected on the basis of their background as well. So these are a few of the new courses that we have recently launched, so keeping the future trends in demand. But again, very quickly telling you, those of you who are not aware, the degrees in Ireland generally are of 1 year master's, which leads to 2 years of post-study work visas. And within a 1 year, how we have structured our programs is the first 2 trimesters are more focused towards teaching. And the last trimester is the trimester wherein we just encourage students to either do internships. And if it is internship, we find those internship opportunities for the students, and normally they are paid. If not, it would be either a research project, a consultancy project, or an applied project, which are generally supervised by the professors as well. So this is how most of the programs are offered in University of Galway. And now coming lastly to the fee structure and everything. So the fee may range between, I would say, 21,000 euros to 28,000 euros at University of Galway. But not to worry, it's not a very high amount anyways, but just to support and just to acknowledge the efforts you must have put in your degrees to get a good GPA, we do offer merit-based scholarships as well. And I'll be more than happy to answer those queries if you reach out to me later. So this is what I had to say. I hope I did not take much time, but I'm happy to give any clarifications if needed later.
Not really, thank you. That was very helpful. Do you want to share any specific critical requirements when a student does an application for these programs that you want to highlight, maybe?
See, most of our programs would need somewhere around 65% percentage. In percentage, I'm saying because most students are sort of familiar with that, how it works. So minimum 65%. So academics definitely is on top of everything that we talk about. Academically, student has to be strong with as less backlogs as possible. Having some sort of research exposure is always welcome, because that is something which lags, when we talk about academics here in India, especially for the students who are doing a 3 or a 4 years degrees. But generally talking, all our engineering degrees would need at least a minimum 4 years of bachelor's degree. So keep that in mind. But when it comes to degrees like business and all that, 3 years degrees are more than welcome. Besides that, a lot of emphasis is given on their English proficiency. So we encourage most of our students to take TOEFL early as possible. The home edition is available. We accept that as well. And I believe TOEFL has been very, very popular test for our students as well. And students have been picking up and writing these exams forever. But besides that, we do appreciate getting a very strong statement of purpose, which is a very important part of student application. Alongside a letter of recommendation is equally important. So every piece of document that you submit is holding very, very, I would say, important place. And the key thing here, when we talk about Ireland, early application is the key. So do not forget to apply early on, because most of the time applications open in the month of October and November. And if you apply early, trust me, you can sleep a good sleep. I would say you can have a very, very sort of nice and very smooth experience when it comes to the entire journey till the time you reach Ireland. So I would encourage each one of you who's listening to us to apply early for most of the popular courses, because they close by January or February with most of the university.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Anju.
you're on mute. Yes.
Thanks. I think students might have got good insights about the overall application process as well as the requirements with your university. Moving on to my next question to Sachin. Uh, Nowadays, student visa rejections of late have become a cause of key concern for international students, especially from India. What best practices or advice would you give to ensure a smooth, successful visa application process?
I think Anju has answered the question already. Start early. I think that's the golden rule. And let me just add some more flavor to this in terms of what it really means from a process standpoint. Um, so I think the visa, even before the visa, applying to the university early, getting the admission offer, and paying the deposit fees is important and super critical, because you cannot apply for your visa before that. And correct me, Anju, Ishita, Bhavna, if I'm wrong, but in Ireland, unlike US universities where there are application deadlines, there are no application deadlines in Ireland, which means that you need to apply early. Like what Anju mentioned, apply in October, as soon as the applications open, apply. And if you have to apply in October, you have to take the TOEFL and or GRE based upon the requirements of the program in 60 days prior to that, or 30 days prior to that, so that you have all the scores and you apply wholehearted and with all the information for the university. So I think that's super critical. So on a timeline basis, for fall of 26, if I were to just fast forward, if one is aspiring for fall of 26 admission, then the actual process starts somewhere in July, August of this year, wherein you start preparing for your TOEFL and GRE based upon the requirements. Research on the programs that you want to go for. Look at the universities that you want to go for. As soon as the applications open in early October, apply with all the information so that you have the admission offer. You can pay the deposit fees, because that's super critical before you even apply for your visa. Coming to the visa, Sarika, the process is very transparent. And whatever I have seen, it is one of the best in the world. That said, in general, one should apply for the visa 3 months before the start of the program, so that you have enough time to really complete the entire visa approval process, etc. I believe in Ireland, there is a restriction that you cannot apply for visa 1 month before the start of the program. So in a sense, in case you're just applying 1 month before the start of the program, that's not allowed. So you need to apply. That's where you need to have enough time and apply 3 months. Within the visa process, like what Anju mentioned, in terms of all the relevant documents that are very clearly, transparently stated on the website, including LORs, applications, proof of payments, etc. But at least what I hear from the ecosystem is that give special emphasis that each of the documents are correct. They are right, and especially in terms of the financial documents of how do you prove the payment of the deposit fees, your tuition fees, and the cost of living, which I think you need to show 10,000 euros of cost of living, and what is the sources of those funds. I think be very, very careful and very clear in terms of what are the sources of funds, because the visa authorities look at all the documents, not just the financial documents. But I'm giving special emphasis on the documents because sometimes we ignore and we don't put too much of focus and what do you say, emphasis on these documents. So I think financial documents need to be very clear in terms of the sources of funds and how you are going to sustain yourself in Ireland. How do you show the proof of cost of living, which is roughly say 10,000 euros per annum in Ireland. So start early from an application process, start early from a visa process, at least 3 months in advance to your course start date, program start date, have all the documents ready, and have a very good clarity in terms of the documents that you're submitting, that they clearly articulate and showcase you as a genuine student uh, who intends to study in Ireland and has got the financial backing to complete your studies in Ireland.
I don't think Sarika is around. Yeah. So anyway, I want to add to what Sachin said. Okay. I think it's important that all participants out here, please check the Embassy of Ireland in India, the website there, because all the updates are there. I just wanted to correct one thing, the Sachin, that you said about 1 month before the course start date. That rule is not there anymore. It used to be a
Okay.
3-week rule that has been removed. So it's better to check the Embassy of Ireland website because all updates are there and they've given everything from a student leaflet to financial summary document to what, your checklist, everything is there. So just check, look at that itself. Over to you,
Thank you for
Sarika.
that correction, Wendy. Thank you. Yeah, but yeah, it's important. It's an important update. Uh, that said, kind of, I think it's important that everybody starts early, even in the visa process, just so that you're not cutting too fine to get your visa before you fly out.
Yeah, and the other thing is they can apply from April onwards. So, for a September start, they can apply in April. The visa office accepts. Yeah. So you can start as early as that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sashita. So moving on to the next question, which goes to Ishita. Um, Ishita comes from Technology University of Shannon, which has very quickly established as an institution which is focusing on industry-focused programs in engineering, science, and businesses with 7 campuses across 5 cities. TUS boasts about 15,000 students at its campuses with growing international student cohort. Said that, could you please tell us about the industry-led practical learning programs which Indian students choose at your university, along with their application requirements?
Thank you so much, Sarika, for the question and for inviting, all of us. So before I answer your question, I think I just want to add a couple of points there for the students. When a student is planning to come to Ireland, they need to do their research in what type of institution they want to go for. And you have the perfect panelist, you could find today. We have National College of Ireland, a research-based university, which is University of Galway, and a technological university. So there's a very, very straightforward, basically set of institutions in Ireland, and all universities are government universities. So again, it provides a lot of value addition to, when a student is applying into the universities. Now coming to one of the points which you had mentioned, we have 7 campuses, but not all of them are based in the cities. We have beautiful towns in Ireland where a few of our campuses are. But again, it's very much equipped, and students will be very happy there because the transport facilities, food, anything they can think of, it's well equipped. Coming to the industry-led program. So we have recently, like about 3 years ago, we have been established. But we were Institute of Technologies before. And our main campuses are based in Athlone, which is in center of Ireland, about 1 hour 20 minutes from Dublin and about an hour from Galway. And another primary campus is in Limerick City, which is the third largest city. Coming back to the, sorry, I think. So coming back to the industry-led program, so all of our courses are designed by company professionals along with the program leaders. So whatever is demand in the country, that has been incorporated into all of our programs, whether it's master's, UG, higher diploma or certification programs. So there's more practical learning for the students. So earlier when I used to meet students, they used to get confused. Like for example, if we take a student from say B Pharma, they just go for a doctorate, like that's all in the same field. But we do have like very different programs where a mechanical engineer, a student who studied food and drinks, and as well as a pharmaceutical, they can sit together and learn the program. That's how different programs we have. And we have very niche programs as well, which are specific to a couple of industries, based in Ireland. So learning through these programs, they will understand what is required rather than just going for theory, because all we will provide them with enough skill sets so once they graduate they're able to apply for different jobs across the country, and most of them are doing so well. Regarding the eligibility, so depending upon the course a student is applying for, we have about 180 plus courses across UG and PG programs. So they can visit our website. It has all the information in regards to eligibility as well. So depending upon which program they need to join in, they need to be from the Cognate area and they can apply in. Our entry requirements are similar to Galway. We have in between 60 to 65%. For pharma programs, it's 70, 75% above. So they can apply with us. Um, Adding to what Sachin said, the deadline, we do have a deadline that is 1st of June. But by the time most of the courses would be closed, like Anju said, by Feb or March, like most of the courses, popular courses, will be closed because we have limited class size. We don't have a class full of 100 students or 80 students. It will be a very small class size, so that every student is able to understand what has been taught, through practical projects. And a lot of our courses have work placement, which is internship in Indian words. So again, very much practical learning over there. So thank you, Sarika.
Thank you, Ishita. That's quite helpful. My next question is to Wendy. If you could please explain the audience what the third level graduate program is and how it benefits international students in terms of work opportunities in Ireland.
So basically, I know it's a big term, third level graduate program. It's as simple as post-study work visa. Okay. So once a student completes, a master's or an undergraduate, like Anju said, master's is 1 year and undergraduate is generally it's 4 years. Most undergraduate are 4 years. There are some which are 3 years, but as long as they complete those, for a master's student, they will get a 2 year stay back. And for an undergraduate, they'll get a 1 year stay back. So generally students will go on a stamp one, which is the student visa. And once they finish their course, and they get their transcripts, they get their results basically. They can then go on to something called a stamp 1G, which allows them to work in the industry and, get their work permit and all of that. So that's what it is. So it is kind of like, really good for them because 1 year masters and 2 year stay back, I think it's good return on investment. So, and I should mention at this stage that the minimum wage in Ireland is 13.5 euros, which is the highest in the Europe. Okay. I mean, all the smart children out there can do their calculations. If you say 13.5 euros, how much it will come? You work for 20 hours during, study period and 40 hours during holiday period. And then once you on your stamp 1G, you'll work for 40 hours per week. Okay, I'm not talking about per month, per week. So it is, your return of investment is going to be really, really fast. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy. I think the students might have started calculating on the same. My next question is to Bhavna. Bhavna from National College, Ireland in Dublin, and its two schools, which is the School of Business and School of Computing, are sought after by students internationally. 6,000 students at NCI include approximately 25% of international students, demonstrating the pull for NCI amongst international students. The key programs, I guess, includes the business analytics, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and cloud computing. Said that, could you please share details on the key fintech and other popular programs at NCI? Which are famous among Indian students. And if you could also throw some light on the entry requirements, the acceptance rate, and approximately tuition fees, it'll give a good insight to the students, Bhavna.
Thank you so much, Sarika, for the question, and thank you for inviting me to the panel today. Just a little bit of introduction for the students before I dive into the programs that we offer. So, NCI, National College of Ireland, is a government-funded college. We are based in the heart of Dublin, in the city centre. The area is known as IFSC, and we have two campuses about a 3 minute walk from each other. We are also a not-for-profit organization, and as Sarika already mentioned, we have a good amount of international students that come to study with us every year. So, the diversity on campus is something that we really like to focus on. Coming to the program, like Sarika again rightly mentioned, we have a School of Business and School of Computing under which we offer undergraduate and postgraduate programs. When I talk about the most popular programs, of course, on the computing side, we have AI, which is really coming up. We have cloud computing, we have cybersecurity, On the business front would be management, international business. But what we have seen recently is a rise in interest of students in multidisciplinary programs, right? So fintech being one of them. This is where we combine finance and technology. And finance as an industry, as we've all seen, does not see a lot of disruption. So fintech is something that really has, given new opportunities to students. It's a really niche area that has carved out of the industry now. Similar programs to fintech will include an AI for business, for example, for because AI is all the rage now. And people who already have a couple of years of work experience and they want to inculcate AI into what they're already doing, this is a perfect program for them. Focused only on students who already have the work experience and open to students who don't have technical backgrounds. So people who want to get into project management or who want to work in a particular or who want to continue working in their industry, but they want to introduce AI to it. So that's one of the innovative programs. Business analytics, as Sarika mentioned. And majority of our programs do come with an internship opportunity or a dissertation or a research practicum. So we make sure that whatever you're learning is industry aligned. That's one, because we review our programs every 5 years. And second, we do give you that practical exposures to make sure that you are ready, you're employable, you're trainable as soon as you step out after graduating. In terms of career support, again, we have one of the best career support teams in Ireland. It's an award-winning team. They do close to 100 plus career events throughout the year when you're studying at NCI, which are open to everybody. Some will be program specific, some will be general. That includes job fairs, mock interviews, CV clinics, seminars, webinars, so all of those things. And you'll have career support available to you even after 3 months you graduate. So if you've not been able to land a job, or if you're still in the process of interviewing after you graduate, you still have 3 more months of support from us. Our programs are also developed by an industry panel. So people from some of the best universities in the world working with some of the best companies come together, which is again something like we like to focus on and to make sure that the programs are industry aligned. In terms of the entry requirements, it might vary a little bit depending on the program you're going for, but more or less everything requires a 60% minimum in your bachelor's degree if you're applying for a postgraduate program. And of course, you require an English language test. So these are the two criteria that we majorly focus on. So if you're sitting for a TOEFL exam, for example, you're going to need an overall 79 at least, with a minimum no band less than or no individual section less than 15. So we accept around 4 English language tests that you can choose from, TOEFL being one of them. In terms of the tuition fee, all our master's programs are 17,000 euros. And of course, for students who perform better or meritorious students, we have scholarships available up to 5,000 euros. So depending on how you've performed previously, we will be able to offer you a scholarship. So for criteria and everything else in detail, I'm happy to share my contact with Sarika, and I will be happy to take up any questions at a later stage.
Thank you, Bhavna. My next question goes to Wendy again. Ireland being an upcoming study destination, what is the overall academic culture like in Irish universities and colleges?
Okay, so I should mention at this stage that, all students who are on this call get ready for it being, hands-on. Okay, it's very practical in nature. You would have heard them all say that, you have 2 semesters where students will study. But even that study is not the rote learning that we're used to in India. Okay, there is continuous assessments, there are assignments, there are group projects. Okay, so what they're teaching you is to work in a group, to work with your professors. So collaboration, which is very important when you start working. So you're already getting used to that culture. Again, the courses are so practical. It's what industry wants. So most of them have come up like when we say a National College of Ireland, they came up with cloud computing, okay, which is what industry wanted. Fintech in in Galway, again, it's what industry wanted. That's why they came up with that. You have a lot of other courses at TOS, like even they've got the hospitality and all courses. I've seen that. Okay, it's very practical oriented. So it's what industry wants, and that is what is important. That's why their employability rate also is so high. Okay, the other thing is I said diverse culture. Okay, so you have so many students. They said class size 20, 40. Okay, you'll have just 5 to 10 seats for Indians. You are going to meet with students from diverse backgrounds, whether it's Irish, whether it's Spanish. It could be from anywhere in the world, the 161 countries that I said that they're from. So, I mean, those are a few things that, makes it really, really different. The other thing that I should mention at this stage is they're very supportive. Okay, so they support them. I've been around now for 11 years with education in Ireland. So I've seen them the way they've grown. They have services not only for careers, they have services for where they support the student through their entire journey. Okay, if they need really hand holding because it's a small class size, the professor knows the student where they are lacking and can help them and intervene in between itself, so they don't see them, kind of having a drop of failing or anything like that. Okay, they tell them do these corrective measures and this is how you'll improve yourself. So we have seen those kind of things happen. Another thing is there are a lot of these grad fairs that happen. Okay, they have it on each of the institute on the campuses, but there's also the grad fair in basically in Ireland, which happens in October. Now, I just wanted to mention this, Sarika, is because it is important for especially master's students to try and attend these grad fairs. We said master's program is 1 year. Okay. They go in September, and this is very practical. They go in September, they're finishing by May. The exams are in May, then they'll have their thesis, their projects, whatever. But if they do not know what skill sets they have to develop in those few months from September to May, and they start attending kind of fairs, these job fairs and all of that later on, they're not going to develop those skill sets. So it's important to go for these job fairs, not to get your job, but to know what skill sets to develop. So it's very, and there is, I mean, you have it in Dublin, but you have it in each of the locations also. All institutions will keep putting up all the posters that are there. Please be very involved. As Indians, very good at, academics. Just learn to get network more, because that's something that we lack, and we need to start networking much more. I mean, I can go on talking, Sarika, but I think I'll let others also have a chance.
Certainly. Thanks, Wendy. But yeah, as rightly said, networking is a key to success and to get job opportunities specifically, be it any country. That's, something which is a key thing which students should work upon. Saying that, thanks for the insights. Would anyone else want to add from the panel? I'm happy for a minute or so. If you want to share any views, Ishita, Bhavna, Sachin.
Yes, Harika, actually, I would like to just build up on what just Wendy said with one example, which is a very recent example of Delhi University student. She was topper. And, this statement is out by her that, while interviewing, so the companies, even in India now, are not looking at your grades completely. Like you're a 99% student. They're looking at the skill set you have. And these can be obtained via free certification courses that are available online. Apply them into real life. It is very easy with the free AI tools that are now available. Have those in your portfolios, in your profile. Now, the student who's just getting, say, 95% above and has not done anything extra versus a student who had 70%, but he was good with extracurriculars, had these certifications in place, that student will receive a job offer first. And that we've seen firsthand even in TUS. A student who had, say, 10 years of work experience versus a student just about last year who joined us into the fourth year of the program, obtained a job offer before a couple of the students, I think near about January, while pursuing the course, and is at a 75,000 euro package with Amazon. And it is, I'm sure, just not with US, but any other institution in Ireland. So it's better to work on the skill set right now when the students are at home before even going. Learn about the courses, what they're going to study, see what they can actually apply in real life now. Look for internships. I'm sure there are so many companies, startups who will be willing to offer these to the students. This will just add value to their resume. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
if I can quickly add also, like what Wendy and Ishita said just now. See, one thing we cannot forget that when we talk about the biggest advantage of doing degree in Ireland is, of course, it's 1 year degree, but at the same time, it's going to be very intensive. Don't take it lightly, right? I don't think so. You'll get time to breathe, and people are talking about jobs and everything. I know we have seen how hard Indian students are working towards achieving high grades, at the same time ensuring that they are not a burden on their parents by doing part-time jobs and everything. So maintaining that balance is a key. So you might not get a lot of time to sort of catch up with. One is the teaching methodology is going to be very, very different. A lot of people would be in shock when they, and most of the people sometimes end up saying that, are we even being taught? Because the lot of onus is on you to do your research, to get assessed, from time to time and things like that. And as Wendy, mentioned again, there are different ways of assessing. Every professor or every course has a different way of assessing your grades and your performance. So you have to be on top of your toes all the time. So what do you do to ensure that you are ready for something like that? Is utilizing this time to ensure that you are engaging with any such opportunities, be it with regards to internship, any projects also that you get during your studies. Nowadays, you do have an option of doing a 3 or a 4 years degrees. If you're interested in research, I would say something which will definitely, bring your game on the top. So involve yourselves in research, particularly program directors, any university that we're talking would definitely give a lot of emphasis on what you have done in terms of research or practical exposure for that matter. So utilize that time. And at the same time, talking about employability in Galway, also the first month that you join in the month of September, in the very first month, you will see 100 companies sitting in the campus. And people will say, oh, how early is it? I mean, it's not early. It's just for you to get a flavor of what to expect in next coming year and how these companies would need, what would they need in terms about the soft skills and how you can hone those skills in the entire year alongside your academics as well. So there's a lot going to happen. Don't take it lightly, but at the same time, enjoy. If you really wanted to enjoy that 1 year in any university that Ireland has, but you have to start working on that right away. Don't even waste a single minute or moment or hour or month, I would say. So take any opportunity which comes your way. If it is not coming, go and knock on the door of the opportunity. I'm sure you will get something worthwhile to do. So that's my, a single sense from my side about this.
Thank you, Anju. And I think the next question is also for you. So, as Galway has emerged as a medtech hub with 8 of the 10 global medtech companies having their presence in Galway, such as Medtronic, Boston Scientific, Abbott, and to name a few. Out of these 19,000 students, 3,000 plus students are international, representing 100 plus nationalities. Now, since University of Galway is recognized as a global medtech hub, could you elaborate on the courses available at the universities that prepare students for careers in the medtech and biopharma industries?
Yes, very interesting question and very apt as well for a university like us. So just to sort of correct a little, fact there, we have more than 122 nationalities now. So yeah, number of students you are like bang on. So I won't say much on that. But yes, one thing I can say very, very safely when it comes to courses like biopharma, biotech, Galway definitely can be one of the best choices that you can have. Why? Because Galway itself is a biopharma and medtech hub. Currently, when we talk about the entire scenario in general, also, I believe there are more than 450 medtech companies, I believe, in Ireland, employing more than 40 to 45,000 people across. But when we focus on, when we just shift our focus to Galway, I believe a company like Aerogen, which is the biggest indigenous biopharma company, has operation in Galway and Shannon, and currently they employ about 15,000 people. And in future, they also plan to actually recruit 725 more graduates. So just imagine the kind of opportunities you will get, guys, to sort of ensure that you have a very safe and secure future. And Galway definitely could be on the center of all of it that we're talking. Another company, Eli Lilly, if you've heard about, is also a biopharma company. They have been, setting up their, manufacturing unit, if I'm not wrong, in Limerick, and they also plan to start their operations from 2026. Again, offering hundreds and hundreds of job students who are in the West Coast or across Ireland. So what I'm trying to say here is that opportunities are going to be immense in this sector. And if you are sitting in at heart of it, which is in Galway, you definitely would be in a position to encash those opportunities much faster while you're studying your or while you're pursuing your master's degrees. Now, coming very quickly to the programs, what I did that I just divided these programs based on the industry you can, go for. So, for example, if you are looking to be recruited by pharma industry, and if you have a pharma background or a biosciences program background, you can opt for courses like toxicology, neuropharmacology, biomedical sciences, or an engineering program, or a MSc biotechnology at University of Galway. But if you are with this background, let's say if you are coming from bioscience or biopharma, you do have a great opportunity to work in data science sector as well. For example, the courses like health data sciences, which University of Galway offer genomics data science, and biomedical genomics are some of the very, very popular courses which has recently caught eye of Indian students. And we have started recruiting those students from mostly from South India, I would say, at this point. And we are planning to sort of spread the word around in the north and the west part of India as well. And quickly talking about the medicine, we have very, very popular course called MSc Clinical Research, which would open many doors if you are interested in clinical trials. And we also have one of the biggest clinical trial research centers here at Galway. So that could definitely be a great choice. And let me just add here, this is one of the courses which closes early on. So do apply for it early if at all you are interested. Followed by MSc Applied Clinical Data Analytics. And finally, those of you who have business, who would be interested in working in the business area, we have an amazing course called MSc Health Economics, which can bring a lot of job opportunities for you both in business and health area. So these are various degrees which are available for you to pursue a degree in biopharma and medtech sector. And let me just finish my response to your question, Sarika, by saying that we have a very amazing careers development center, which actually invites more than 400 employees across the year to the university's campus to conduct campus interviews. And recently, one of the very unique things which is with Galway, I would say, is that we have recruited 3 officers to help only international students to get jobs in Ireland. And they are the ones who are going to give each and every student who's going to approach us one-on-one to help them with their CVs, to prepare them for interviews and various other soft skills which are needed to be recruited in the industry. Besides that, we also would ensure that the industry keeps on coming to the universities every now and then. And on the other hand, what we are doing is we are just talking to the industry to ensure they understand what value an international student brings to their company, because that is something which nobody was addressing. And we were just trying to sort of work, we were just trying to ensure that that gap is sort of lessened, and it has helped a lot in companies opening their doors for international students. And that's why it has led to an employability of 96 to 98% when it comes to University of Galway graduates. So this, in a nutshell, is my response to your question. I hope I could answer that, but I'm very open to answer more questions if you have anything to follow.
Sure, thanks. Yes, that was quite informative, and I think that was many students might not be aware about this information, so they can take advantage of it. My next question goes to Ishita. As TUS has multiple campuses, as you mentioned, which are not based in Dublin, could you list some key factors that draw students from India?
Sure, Sarika. Thank you so much for the question. So, this happens, when we talk about any particular country, that usually the capital or the popular city in that particular country is a student drawn to. But over the period of time, we've seen the students, developing interest to say move out of Dublin or the most popular cities. Why? Because again, it is comparatively more affordable in terms of living cost, accommodation cost. There are more, say, when we talk about accommodation, there are more options available. And also in terms of fees as well, like if you see our fees is anywhere between 14,000 to 20,000 euros, 20,500 euros across masters. So it's more affordable option, and also the popularity of the brand we've seen over the period of time, the sort of student support we provide to the students. we have one award for the student experience team. So their job, so I always tell them, I love your job role. I wish I could have had that someday. So we call them chief fun officers. Basically, their job is to keep the international students happy. So, there are a lot of times wherein the students are coming, moving out of their house for the first time, traveling abroad for the first time, especially undergraduate students. So, from say picking up from the airport to their accommodation, helping them with orientation, settling them in paper-based formalities. There's so many other different formalities which a student need to complete in. So our team is, available all the time to help them. We take them for trips across Ireland so that they can familiarize themselves with the Irish culture as well as interact with different international students rather than just staying in the groups. So there's a lot which is, kind of behind the scenes as well. So we provide we do have the 24/7, we would say, support for the students. And also, like I did mention, before, that we have niche programs. Uh, so say, let's talk about tech and pharma, which is again the top, courses in Ireland. All our pharma courses are closed except for one, which is medical devices. And again, drawing this attention wherein the companies like Eli Lilly, Johnson Johnson, Abbott, these companies have come together, not just one company forming up a program, but multiple companies coming in together, forming up programs, practical learnings. And also within the cities and the towns, we are centrally located. So it's easier for students to travel across. Um, and again, even in India, so we do have two staff members here, so we are always available to provide support from here to there. So, it's like a transfer, I would say. So, from here, we take care of the students, provide them with all sort of information they require during, say when we are meeting them in the events, during pre-departure, until they land in Ireland. And then we have a, team on ground who's ready, to support them.
That's great. I think students might be glad to know that that there's so much of support which is available from India till Ireland, and they will definitely take advantage of this. Thank you, Ishita. And my last question goes to Sachin. How do you see the international student-related regulations in Ireland versus the other key countries? Are stable regulations also important in driving student interest to study in a country?
Uh, Great question. Thanks, Sarika. And it's very important because re- international student related regulations, if they change often, also create a sense of uncertainty among students. And that's what is driving some of the shift in the behaviors of students, especially from some of the traditional markets. I must applaud Ireland and for very thought through and I would say visionary international student related policies, which I think has led to a growth, but a more sustainable growth of students who are looking to study and then probably work in Ireland. And three or four things that stood out for me. Uh, a is that there is no kind of uh, knee jerk or kind of a change or a shift in regulations that has happened in Ireland uh, in the last, I would say, 12 to 24 months, which has been the case with some of the other destination markets. But if you drill down further, why is on some of these things that Ireland probably thought through before others is like dependent visa. Except for research scholars, there is no dependent visa available in Ireland. And as a result, it was always a student-led market in the first place. Similarly, if you look at the, the third graduate route, or in simple words like what Wendy said, post-study work visa, right? Very clear. 1 year for undergrad, 2 years for graduate, for level 9 and above, but that too not given in one go, 1 year plus 1 year. Very, very clear that this is the transition that you can do if you want to stay and kind of look for opportunities to work in Ireland. Similarly, visa hopping, which we knew that in some of the countries became a big issue, has always been a no-no in Ireland. In case you want to move from one university to another, it's like a new visa. You have to apply a new visa. You cannot just hop on your visa. Visionary things that Ireland figured out much earlier than others, which is resulting in a very stable kind of a international student-related, I would say, transition into Ireland. And last but not the least, I would say PR. Now, we always believe that ultimately what is the aspiration of the student to go and study and then to become a global citizen and to transition into that workforce. The PR policies, the permanent resident policies, are very clear in terms of you can get a PR if you stay in that employment for 5 years, except for some of the critical skills where you can get a PR in 2 years. So I think the overall structure of the regulations and policies around international student mobility in Ireland are very stable, very thought through, and as a result is driving that growth into Ireland. And looking from a distance where we look at the policies around international student mobility in other destination markets, I believe Ireland has to be given that credit that that the authorities thought through it and kind of have policies that are sustainable and kind of more stable. Wendy, anything that I missed? Something that you want to add to that?
No, I think you said it quite rightly. The pathway to basically becoming a permanent resident or a citizen, I think you said it really well. Generally, for somebody in the critical skills, it's 21 months that they would get their permanent residency, and non-critical skills, it'll be 51 months. So very rightly said. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned everything correctly, so not a problem at all. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not close to the regulations as you are, so probably I took the
Yeah.
liberty of saying, answering that.
So one thing what you said right, and I should say that again is that Ireland, when they introduce something, they don't take it away. Okay, I'm now putting a stab on the other countries. Okay, but generally, like you said, they think it out and then they implement it. Okay, so it's very well thought after, and then only do they implement something. So it makes it a very stable country to go to. Very I would say safe, friendly is one thing, but you need something with stability around. Okay, and that's why we've seen an increase in students going to Ireland. Yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Sarika, can I request to add something here?
Sure, sure.
Would that be okay? Yeah. So, adding to what Sachin and Wendy said, I just remembered Wendy. So last year, me and Wendy were sitting at an international conference, and Ireland was the only country which was not part of the panelist, and rest of the top destinations were sitting, and then they are saying things. And I just looked at Wendy, and I'm like, whatever these guys are talking about, don't we already have that? And I'm not referring to TUS, I'm referring to Ireland. And that's how all the university representatives or universities in general, any institution in Ireland would be. Always it has been, you don't come to my institution, that's okay, but come to Ireland because they will see we actually don't sit and say, okay, that's our motto. No, it just goes without saying, when we all are together because how beautiful of a country that is. All our programs are internationally recognized. So your degree of level 9, it'll hold the same value in the US, in Japan, Germany, wherever the student is going in, and that's across the country. So that is what a student would receive, when they are coming to Ireland. Yeah, that's it, Sarika. That's it from my end.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everyone. And I think we have some question. There were a few which already have been answered, but we have one open question. I think this goes to Sachin. Which is better, TOEFL or IELTS? And how many months or years it is acceptable once you pass the TOEFL or the IELTS test?
So I won't kind of compare, but what I can say is that TOEFL is being the oldest test, right? It's the gold standard when it comes to ELT, and more importantly, it's a shorter test, a 2 hour test in one sitting. You complete everything in one sitting, and you get your scores within 4 to 6 business days. Uh, so I think that itself kind of talks a lot about uh, uh, of one taking TOEFL over any other test, right? The last but not the least, the flexibility that TOEFL offers. You have both a test center option and a home edition option, which some of the other tests do not offer. So I think it's a complete package that TOEFL uh, offers for students. And like my panelist said, that the scores are displayed in terms of what the TOEFL scores are required for an undergrad or a postgrad program at each of the universities. The visa regulations clearly mention the score that's required, minimum score that's required for visa. So I think go for it. In terms of the what do you say, the validity of the score, the scores are valid for 2 years from the time you take the test. So you have 2 years to kind of to for any university to accept the scores of your TOEFL test.
Thank you, Sachin sir. So, with that, I don't think we have any more questions, but we are happy the panel is here. I would request the participants to type their questions in the Q&A section, and we are happy to take. We are here for another 10 minutes.
So I think while they're typing questions, maybe I'll just mention that we have, representatives from the different sectors, as we say in Ireland here. I should mention that they have offices in India. They have staff with them to help them. We also have, other institutions that, so 15 of the Irish have offices in India. Okay. So it's a huge commitment to the Indian market that the Irish have shown, where they have offices here where from one person, I don't think anybody has one person. I think everybody's got at least two people to maybe, 10 people in an office. Okay. So they are really committed. If you are committed to come to Ireland, they're really here to help you all. Okay. And education in Ireland also can help answer any questions around, if you're, what is the environment like? What is the job scenario like? All those kind of things, the general questions we can answer for you. Yeah. I think there was somebody who asked about STEM courses. What is the salary, CTC post master's program? Now, generally, we don't take such questions because it's very vague. Okay. STEM can be anything. But I also mentioned what is the minimum wage. Okay. So if you're working, there, the minimum wage itself is 13.5 euros. So, we've seen students get anything between, say, 30,000 euros to maybe 45,000 euros at an entry level. And it will depend which STEM program you're going for, how many years of experience you have. Is yours in the critical skill? Is it not? Generally, STEM programs are in the critical skills. But yeah, so it's very difficult to answer that, just offhand. Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy, for the information. Although Anju has answered a question, but I think it's a common question, which if anyone else wants to add something, what about the university, public or private, in which university we will get accepted, and what are the criteria for both of them? Does anyone wants to have some
I
more
can
views?
answer, Sarika. So all universities in Ireland are public universities. So yeah. And depending upon the course a student is looking for, eligibility would be based on that. In simple terms, I would say if a student has a very, clean and nice resume, they should be eligible to apply and get through the course. It is not like, I would say in some countries or maybe in India as well, that if you have a BCom, you can just get into IT directly, say a job or some course as well. You need to be from the cognate area. Otherwise, universities like TUS and maybe others as well, we do have the pathway courses. Like a student can come on to say a higher diploma in agile software exam, for example, which is the IT. Higher diploma. If a student is from BCom or hospitality background, they can come onto this, then go forward with masters in IT. So, those pathway programs are also available. In general, if you're from business background, you can apply into any business degrees. Same as for IT, pharmaceutical, hospitality, and minimum entry criteria definitely is mentioned on each of the university's websites, so they can just take a look at it and then apply early.
Great. I think as of yet, we don't have any more questions, which I can see. But we'll wait for another 2 minutes and then maybe we can close the session.
So
Thank
I
you.
think
Thank
maybe, no, like I said, I can continue speaking. Okay, so I can be a filler while we get questions. I'm going to put on a mother's hat. Okay, so my son is studying, he just finished studying in Ireland. And I want to take on what Anju had said. It is quite, challenging. Okay, it is very different. So he went to do something which is a very different course, a master's in applied marine conservation. Now that's not, that those kind of courses don't exist in India, first and foremost. Okay. Now when he went there, he was a zoology botany undergrad student from St. Xavier's College in Mumbai. And he went to Ireland thinking marine conservation, okay, is you'll go into the sea, you'll start doing experiments, all of that. The science side. What he didn't realize is there was a bit of data that he had to play in with it. Okay, so he had to learn RStudio. He had to learn how to map where marine life has to be conserved. So he had to learn, the mapping, I think it's called GRIS or something like that. Okay, so you have to learn all of that. So there are a lot of skill sets you'll have to learn besides the normal thing, that is there. And it is very important that in the first 3 months when you go there, we spoke about all those grad fairs, we spoke about companies coming there. It's only to see your skill set. Please also don't try to get a part-time job immediately when you land there. The first 3 months, just get your hands on the course, the content, how you're going to do assignments, how you're going to wash clothes, cook, shop, all of that. Okay. In India, we have Swiggy and all of the Zomato and all of that. That doesn't exist in Ireland unless you want to spend a lot of money. Okay. So get your hands on settling in life over there before you look at a part-time job. I generally tell students November is, when a lot of the holiday season jobs come up for December onwards. Start working in December. It's okay. Just first 3 months, concentrate on your course. Yeah.
Great advice.
I think all the questions are around, okay, so there's somebody who said, can you please let me know if Irish institutions accept academic backlogs? If so, what is acceptable range and limit? Who wants to take this on? Backlogs. So I think, yeah, Anju, go ahead.
See, as far as backlogs is concerned, I know, considering, again, referring to my experience in other universities in Australia, US, UK, where I've worked, I know this is not very openly talked here, especially talking from our institution's point of view. But logically thinking, it's all about using your common sense and generally having lesser the better, right? And normally when we start, let's say, take an example of an engineering students. Generally, I'm not trying to point it out, but most of the time they do have backlogs and everything because they're trying to get adjusted and, curriculum and everything. So as a general rule, I would say if you have backlogs up to an extent, like let's say 4 or 5, I'm just giving you a very random example, should be acceptable as long as they're in the first couple of years. when a program director assesses an application, the last 2 years of your undergraduation definitely are more important than the first 2 years. Because first 2 years they can understand you were settling down and you were just trying to understand things, and concepts were getting clearer. But the last 2 years definitely are required you to be more serious about things, to take things more sort of in a manner so that you can actually get better grades. So as long as you have performed, you have cleared those backlogs, you've performed better, you've just definitely got good scores. In our case, for example, 75% is a requirement for the top courses, or 65% generally for the second tier courses. As long as you are maintaining that or crossing that minimum percentage range, you should be fine. And also at the same time, having just grades is not the criteria at all. In most of the universities, there's a lot which is going beyond your grades as well, as we have spoken throughout the session. Your statement purpose, your intent of doing this course, what your academicians have to say about your soft skills or your academic skills also play a very vital role in getting that seat in the universities. As Ishita said, there are very limited seats at a master's level. So every program director sitting and assessing an application needs the best of the best students in their batch, because that is going to actually bring on better alumni, better research opportunities, better funding, better jobs and whatnot, and ultimately affects our university's rankings. All right. So having a good student, a quality student, is something which is really, really important. And I must definitely, I'm sure I can talk on everybody's behalf here. When it comes to Ireland, Ireland is all about quality students, right? Quantity is one thing, but if you ask me what you need as an institution, it's a quality student. That's the answer. And that is what every academics, every institution that we're talking about is striving towards. So I think that is my 1 cent, when we talk about this question. And I hope everybody sort of considers and thinks about it more seriously. If you're still not very serious about what you're doing in your undergrad, this is the time to pull your socks up and just stop looking at your mobiles, guys, and start looking at your textbooks. That's more important. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
Anju.
going to add to this, where it's also in the statement of purpose, you need to mention, okay? So it's very important, not only for the university, but also the visa. What happened? Why did you dip? Okay, why was that backlog there? Okay, because they are trying to see, like, Ireland wants the serious students. Okay, we are not known for our migration, points, and we're not a migration country. We take people, who are serious in studying, and then we want them to stay on. So for that, whether it's the institution or whether it's the visa office, they're going to see your statement of purpose. Okay, and you have to mention it very clearly. Why you are looking at studying. Sorry. Why are you looking at what was the reason for the backlogs that you have? Yeah.
So thanks, Wendy. I think we don't have any more questions. I can't see any. No open questions anymore. So I think with that we come to an we can end the session. And I would like to give a special thank you to everyone who has joined us today for this insightful session on studying in Ireland. And a very special thank you from ETS to all our esteemed panelists for their expertise, their experiences, and valuable insights, which has made the webinar truly an enriching one. I hope all the students who've attended this have got a clear, direction of their future studies. And if, in case any one of them have future questions, we are happy to. You can reach out to us, and we are happy to help you and support you. And wishing everyone a very best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much, Sarika. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank for making this webinar so successful. And stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy. Best of luck for the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.